You're listening to the Sales Chameleon Podcast. Smarter sales, stronger growth, simplified.
Hey there, welcome back to the Sales Chameleon Podcast where selling smarter starts. I'm your host, Heather Coggins, and today I'm going to be diving into something that really affects your performance probably a whole lot more than you might realize, and that is your 25-foot radius. And so what do I mean by your 25-foot radius? Well, who you surround yourself with and the energy that they bring ultimately has a direct impact on your success. And so what I'm going to be doing is exploring the research behind this, talking about why negativity is actually really contagious, and that's not a good thing, and how consultative and versatile selling can help you protect your radius and really keep your performance strong. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so first I want to start off by talking a little bit more about the 25-foot rule and get into the science of influence. And so there was a fascinating study done from Kellogg School of Management, and what they did was they looked at a bunch of high performers at a large tech company and ended up finding that their influence extended beyond just their individual work. And so the people within 25 feet of those folks ended up experiencing a 15% boost in performance just by being in their orbit. Now here's the kicker, negative energy had twice the impact. So while those high performers lifted those around them by 15%, toxic workers ended up causing a 30% decline in performance. That is huge and not in a good way. And so what that says is, and what it shows is that negativity really spreads a whole lot faster than positivity. And so unfortunately, negativity is a whole lot more contagious, it's more disruptive, and it's a whole lot harder to counteract. And so this doesn't just apply to office spaces, okay? Whether you're in sales, you're running a business, or even just managing your personal life, your environment really shapes your outcomes. And so today what I'm going to do is really focus on how this applies to sales and business, but just know that you can also apply this to your personal life in most regards as well. And so I want to bring this into the world of sales. And if we look at, how contagious energy is, then we have to understand so is the way that we approach our customer conversations, the way we approach our negotiations, and even our own mindset in business. And so high-performing sales teams, they tend to thrive in these really positive, solution-oriented cultures, right? So those teams that focus on problem solving, value, relationship building, those are the folks that are going to end up creating those better results. Now, when we shift gears and look at those more toxic sales cultures, because we all know that they exist, they typically operate full of fear, especially when they're looking at their sales approach. So they have this like fear-based selling, these pressure tactics, and really this just negative undertone that just kind of drags everyone down. And if leadership pushes an aggressive, short-sighted approach, it's going to lead to burnout and bad customer relationships for all of the employees involved, and probably even for some of those customers as well. And so this is really where consultative and versatile selling comes into play. And so when we're able to focus on that collaboration and truly understand our customers' needs and then adapt our approach, that allows us to naturally create a more positive and productive environment, both for ourselves and the people around us. And so how do we ultimately protect our radius through using consultative and versatile selling? Okay, and so if we know that negativity is twice as contagious, then we need those proactive strategies to really help protect our performance. And so I'm going to talk through how consultative and versatile selling can help. And the first is through active listening. Active listening is really a strong, solid way to help keep negativity from spreading. And you may be asking yourself, what the hell? How in the world does active listening help with that? And I want to talk through 5 main ways it can help keeping that negativity from spreading, because it does help. And the first way active listening helps is it really de-escalates that frustration, okay? When people feel truly heard, they're less likely to vent their frustrations elsewhere, which ultimately prevents that negativity from snowballing. Secondly, it helps clarify those intentions. And so many negative emotions ultimately stem from misunderstandings. And so using that active listening is really going to help ensure that people feel acknowledged, and then it helps reduce down those misinterpretations that end up fueling conflict. Thirdly is going to be that it encourages that solution-oriented thinking. So instead of letting negativity fester, active listening really helps shift the focus from complaining over to more of a problem-solving approach by really asking those clarifying questions and being able to reflect on those key points. The fourth point for how active listening helps is it allows you to build trust and psychological safety. And so when people know that they're being heard, they're more likely to communicate more openly, more constructively, rather than, walking around and spreading resentment in the background and just talking a bunch of crap. And then finally, how active listening can help is it really interrupts gossip and toxicity. And so how it does that is it allows you to acknowledge concerns directly and empathetically, which ultimately helps reduce the need for people to go out and, seek that validation through gossiping or passive aggressive behavior. And so to kind of put all of this into perspective, if you've ever had, a client start a meeting frustrated or skeptical, your reaction to that really determines whether that negativity spreads or dissolves. Okay, and so if we kind of circle back to our consultative approach here and we, look at the consultative techniques, which includes that active listening, but it also includes things like asking really good questions, validating their concerns, and then staying solution focused. Doing those things can really help you turn a really negative energy exchange into more of a productive one. And so that's kind of how consultative selling can help come into play. But where does versatile selling come in? And where it comes in is really going to be to help you adapt to those different energy shifts. So not every customer is going to come in with that same mindset. Some are going to be a little bit more hesitant. Others are going to be extremely excited. And some maybe just had a bad experience with a competitor before meeting you. And so they're a little disgruntled, irritated, whatever the case is, right? Now, as a versatile seller, you're going to know how to, I need to adjust my approach based on what the customer needs in that moment. And I need to really keep the conversation productive, not just reactive. Okay. And so being able to identify what their social style is, so how they prefer to communicate and be influenced, is really going to come in helpful here. And so ultimately what you want to do is, using the consultative selling approach, using a versatile selling approach, all of that's great, but it's not really going to be as impactful as it can be if you're not surrounding yourself with the right people. Okay, so at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are going to elevate you, not drain you. And so in business, the people you work with, whether it's colleagues, mentors, customers, all of those people shape your long-term success. And so the right people, they're going to stay, and the wrong people, they'll end up, kind of fading out. And so when you truly listen and you use those consultative skills that I was just talking through, you're going to be able to naturally build those stronger relationships with the people who actually value collaboration, who value that respect and problem solving. And in the meantime, those who thrive on negativity, drama, they're going to end up often self-selecting themselves out because they're not getting the reaction that they want, okay? And so don't focus all of your energy and time on those folks. Focus your energy on the right people. Because energy is contagious, and so you want to make sure that you're choosing wisely, right? Like I mentioned, the people around you are really going to influence your mindset, your motivation, and your overall performance. And so you want to make sure that you're really maintaining a culture of accountability, a culture of ambition, and that culture of problem solving, because those are going to help you fuel success Whereas those unchecked negativity or complacency, items can really end up dragging not only you down, but it can drag an entire team down as well. And so ultimately your clients shape your business. So who you choose to work with, it matters. And if you're choosing to do business with the wrong clients, that's going to end up probably draining your time, draining your energy, and really make every single interaction feel like an uphill battle. And we don't want that, right? That's not beneficial for anybody. But when you maintain and choose and maintain the right clients, they're going to end up respecting your expertise. They typically tend to align with your values. And ultimately, that's going to help you create those opportunities for mutual growth, right? So kind of that value for both of you. And so the bottom line, as I kind of bring this to a close, is again, energy is contagious, and remembering that negativity spreads twice as fast. And so if you want to protect your 25-foot radius, you really have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about who you work with, how you handle those tough conversations, and really be intentional about the kind of energy that you're bringing to every interaction. All right? So that's all I had for today. If this episode resonated with you, please make sure that you're giving it a like and you're sharing it with a fellow salesperson, entrepreneur, or friend who just needs to hear it. And then also make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep selling smarter, stay versatile, and I will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Sales Chameleon Podcast.